The Spanish announce table.
Tom, it is episode 337 of the Spanish Announce Table. I'm Tim. You're Tom. You know this. Folks may not. That's why we put it conveniently down here on the bottom row for you. Also, we put up here on the top row, SpanishAnnounceTable.net. Go check that out. All the social medias, all the plugs, all the ways to donate, all the things to buy. I don't want to bore you too much. Get in the chat. Let us know if there's any problems with this stream. Let us know if you can't hear us. Let us know. We don't know. We're going in this thing blind. Tom, how are you feeling? Yeah, you're fine. You've never sounded better.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, just to see if the people are paying attention on the stream. I am doing well, Tim. But you know what? Enough about us. Who cares? Let's talk about pro wrestling, because that is what the people came to listen about, not about us gasbagging, although we are the stars of the show, just to let you know. Let's get into it. There was a lot that happened. We have an NXT takeover. We got a very boring Monday Night Raw. We had a AEW Dynamite from last Friday to talk about. And then we got some picks about Hell in a Cell. So let's get it all kicked off with our favorite show.
I'm excited. I got notes. I took notes, Tom. Notes.
Oh, man. That is something for you, Tim. I tell you what, I don't think I can recall the last time you did that. But you did it this show.
I barely know how to write.
I know. That's why I'm so shocked. But good for you, Tim. Let's kick it off with our favorite show. Our favorite show currently is still All Elite Wrestling AEW Dynamite. Again, this was not on a Wednesday night as it typically airs, but because of the NBA playoffs, it was on a Friday night. Friday night, June 11th at 9 o'clock after Smackdown. So a little late night showcase for AEW, but it kicked off with Christian Cage versus Angelico with Matt Hardy. Christian Cage gets the victory here, but what did you think of the match?
I think I'm bored with Christian Cage now. It didn't take long, apparently, man.
You are wrong.
I'm wrong?
Wrong.
Okay.
Wrong.
Okay. All right. How am I wrong?
No, I mean, hey, it's your opinion, but you wrong. I love Christian Cage. I'm tired of the other half of this match, not Angelico specifically, but the Matt Hardy family compound, whatever the hell we're calling it.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's bad.
That's the part that I'm tired of. But the aspect of Christian Cage starts with the mid-carders, has to fight, claw, scratch, and tear his way up the rankings, I enjoy, because what typically happens, if you go back to, the days of TNA getting all the former WWE stars, is former WWE star Rhino or former WWE star Christian Cage just goes right to the top. And it's just like, no, because you're devaluing the rest of your roster when you just say this person from the other company is better. And so I like the idea that Christian Cage has to go through Frankie Kazarian, then has to go through an Angelico. And then it's not easy. It's not as if he's just hitting kill switches and be like, huh? Man,
sure.
Everything is hard for him. And I think that's the fun story that we're telling with Christian Cage.
Well, and I think that I may not be bored with Christian Cage as much as I am bored with the way they're presenting this Christian Cage storyline. Because again, it's Angelico, and it's,
Yeah, I think the thing that I want to see more of, because I am reading a little bit in between the lines with Christian Cage, is I want to hear Christian Cage say these things, right? Because when we're seeing him on Dynamite, he is having to go to plan B, C, and D to get the victory. Now I want to hear him say that. It's been 7 years since I've been in the ring. I think might have lost a step. I still think I can be champ, but man, today's roster is just packed with talent. Look how hard I'm struggling with guys that aren't even ranked in the top 5. Like, if he were to say those things, I think the story of Christian Cage fights his way from the bottom to the top would be a little bit better told, because as I just said, I think I'm reading into that and it's not actually being explicitly told. But nonetheless, that's how we kicked off AEW Dynamite. Again, Christian Cage gets the victory. Post-match, Matt Hardy, again, Matt Hardy does Matt Hardy stuff. And then,
nobody likes that either. Nobody wants the Matt Hardy stuff.
Well, so Matt Hardy attacks Christian Cage, gets the twist of fate, and then they're beating him up. But then Jungle Boy comes out. This was interesting because this is the first of 2 appearances from Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy comes out, makes the save, chases off Matt Hardy and Christian Cage. So I guess we're going to continue this friendship of Jurassic Express, but specifically Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. Do you think we get anything out of that? Or is this just babyfaces being cool and then we go our separate ways?
I think so. If anything, maybe Christian is like, behind the scenes working with him maybe or something. And so they're just pairing him up maybe. But I hope there's not like this Sting Darby Allin thing, which, we might get into later, but
yeah. And I think, we're starting to see maybe some riff between Darby Allin and Sting. And again, we'll get to that in just a second, but where I think this could potentially go, what I think is, foreshadowing a little bit here. We see Jungle Boy interact with Kenny Omega, and again, we'll get to that when it happens in the show. But I think we're going to have Christian Cage potentially cost Jungle Boy the match with Kenny Omega. Jungle Boy right now is on fire, getting pushed to the moon. I think everyone sees him as that next generation of AEW talent after the Kenny Omegas and the Young Bucks kind of make their way to that legacy route. And then it's going to be the MJFs, Jungle Boys, Darby Allins. But you can't really bury Jungle Boy. So I think he's going to look strong against Kenny Omega. And I think this is where we get the Christian Cage like, hey, I was just here to help you, pal. You need my help. And then it's like, I don't fucking need anything from you. And then that's the...
I am going to say this. I think if we're going to have Christian moving forward doing some stuff, it'll probably be more entertaining as a heel.
Yeah. Yeah. Christian Cage as a heel, one, it was done obviously as a tag team with Edge. And he did it a little bit as a singles competitor on Smackdown and a little bit in ECW, WWE as well. But I think, we haven't really tapped into the Christian Cage can really go full heel, dastardly veteran, underhanded tactics. So I would like to see maybe a Christian Cage heel turn sooner rather than later. So after that matchup, we got a Cody Rhodes special announcement, and this was a turd in the punch bowl.
All right.
We
have talked enough about how Cody Rhodes is up his own ass, but my God, the special announcement from Cody Rhodes, the big special announcement is I'm going to have another tag match just like the last one I did, and this time it's going to be with a guy you didn't even know fucking existed until this announcement. That's the fucking announcement?
Well, and on top of that, I guess where I got a little more aggravated is that it wasn't Arn Anderson making the announcement. It's his son. And again, if you want to paint the storyline that Brock and Cody have been best friends forever, and now it's his best friend making his in-ring debut. Okay, but all you said is second generation talent, and he's going to be with me, and that sucked.
And did this kid know he was going to be on TV tonight? It looked like we pulled him off of the fucking yacht having brunch to just like come out here and stand like dad does and act tough.
He looked like he owned a lawn service that's doing like really well and having to expand, and he's pissed because now he has to rely on people he thinks are dumber than him.
Yeah.
Like, he looked like every lawn care guy right out of high school that's going to expand his business. I just, hey, but again, he did fine. It was probably a lot of pressure for him. This was the first time on national TV. It was standing next to his dad and next to Cody, and he had to get physical. So I imagine there were some things going through his head. I'm not going to particularly judge him, right off the first impression. I'm going to give him a little bit of time. But yeah, Cody makes the announcement that he's going to have a match with Aaron Solo and Cutie Marshall. And it's going to be him and Arn Anderson's son, Brock. And it's going to be July 7th in Miami. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't care less. Hey, before we keep moving on, shout out to the chat room. We got Big Josh in the chat room, chatting it up, going back and forth. You guys join in, and we'll make you famous too. And stay tuned for more making Big Josh famous in Tweet the Tables.
Yeah, Josh, thanks
so much. Oh, and he asked if we're live or live to tape. No, we're live, pal.
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal.
Fucking bullshit. See? Look at that. That wouldn't make live to tape. Right. You've never heard us cuss on this podcast before.
Never.
Hey, so let's get back into AEW Dynamite. Next up, we had a trios match. It was the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler taking on Pac, Penta El Cerro Mito, and Eddie Kingston. This was fun. as much as I dislike the Young Bucks storytelling outside of the ring, they can do a good storytelling in the match.
In the match.
And
yes.
they did well with this one.
Yes. I feel like calling them the King of the Indies for that reason, because like you could show up, everything's entailed in this one little story raw at the thing, out the curtains, and we boo that man, and they're gone, and then end of story. But they do it every time, and that's what I mean. Like, this feels like there's nothing here. It just feels like we're spinning our wheels with this stuff. And then even so much with Frankie Kazarian. Like, I want to really like this Frankie Kazarian storyline. Yeah. And I feel like it's never going to get off the ground much because it just, like, there's no real storyline with the Young Bucks and with Kenny. Like, I mean, he's just going to randomly attack him with no rising action, no conflict, none of it. It just feels like, here we go again, right? Young Bucks must pose.
A little bit. Yeah, I agree with you. And I think with the Frankie Kazarian thing specifically is typically with, a hunter of any kind, and he is the elite hunter. You get someone identified as your first target, right? You usually see like a checklist of people, who he's going to take off, or out of the elite. And with this though, he's just running in there and punching everyone, which again is okay. But like, now you just kind of look like a crazy loon who just is upset that your tag team's no longer, in AEW. So like, I don't know. There's no sophistication and structure to Frankie Kazarian. So now he kind of feels flat to me, but nonetheless, he did come in to help post-match. Pac, Penta, and Eddie Kingston did get the victory. Again, this was at the expense of Brandon Cutler. He was the butt of all the jokes. The Young Bucks blamed him for everything. He's the young boy, which again hasn't been explained to someone who doesn't watch Japanese pro wrestling. Do a little bit better. I understand don't insult some people's intelligence, but also explain some more things to people. That's a sidebar. But it looks like we're going to get the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler, I think, taking on Penta, Eddie, and then Frankie Kazarian. So now we're actually going to see Frankie Kazarian in a little bit of tag team action. Yeah, like you said, the Young Bucks must pose. Here's the thing I do want to say, though. Penta, this is fucking over with everyone. Watch it on the pay-per-views. Watch it on Dynamite. Man, Death Triangle's great in the sense that it's a cool name, and when you need something to fill 15 minutes of time, put them in a trios match, and you're going to get some fun stuff. But Penta needs to be pushed to the moon. Let's get him some TNT championship matches. Let's get him in the world title picture again. Like, he's a star, man. And on top of that, I don't know how you feel about this. I've said it a million times, but a lot of white guys just at the top of the card. You want to, have some diversity, just a little bit.
I'm going to go back to the chat room, Tom, because we've been challenged here. Big Josh says, quote, "My old lady doesn't think y'all are live." And, I mean, this ought to show it now because you're in trouble now because we just let her know that you called her old. That's not. Josh,
Yikes.
Hey, we got some tips. Email us, tableshow@gmail.com. We'll get you. Tom's married now. I've been married for a long time. Like, we can help you.
We can help you.
Stay away from the old lady.
No old. It's OL apostrophe in the future.
Old.
OL.
Right,
Old. Not old. Old. There you go. Just
right.
a tip for the well-rounded wrestling fan there is never say old. If you're going to do it, OL apostrophe. All right. So now let's get back into some AEW Dynamite. After that trios match, we had the Pinnacle respond to the Stadium Stampede. And man,
yeah.
Here's the thing. Let me say this before we continue, because I kind of feel like our tone and our reactions are making us come off as curmudgeons. I did overall enjoy Dynamite, and compared to Raw or even most of SmackDown, it's great. But for the standards that Dynamite has, this episode was subpar. And this was the definition of it. This should have ended at Double or Nothing. I don't want to see more Pinnacle versus Inner Circle. And on top of that, I don't need we all stand together, but I'm only talking to one person.
take myself off mute here because I'm a professional, Tom. Listen, all that aside, even the big beef I've got with this is the crushing the car thing. Why are we still doing this in pro wrestling? Who gives a shit? I'm not paying that motherfucker's car note. I don't care that their rich fucking limousine got beat up and they're going to call fucking another, car service to get home. If this was like Eddie Kingston, a working man hero, and his 2003 Toyota Camry that the window doesn't roll up and there's a busted headlight, and then they take that, steal that, and now he's got to bum a ride to the next town, then I care. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Why would I give a shit? Who gave a shit that their limo got busted up?
Well, no one. Honestly, and it was the heels because then you're supposed to think like, oh, they got one over on them. But if they're rich, then they're just going to get another one. So who cares? Here's the thing that I will say, though, about the segment where they have done it well in the past is remember when Santana and Ortiz took out Chuck's mom's van?
Yes.
That has some sentimental value.
And again, the van already had... We had already come connected to the mom, and the van represented the mom, and yes, there was this was the second time we've seen the limo, and we don't know it's theirs. It's a rental,
right? That's the thing is if you want to do car spots, you have to have, like you said, some type of marriage to the car or some type of relationship established of why the talent or the wrestler cares about the vehicle. If it's just random vehicle on Friday night. Who the fuck cares? That has no significance to a viewer who, again, has no relationship to that car. So, yes, Inner Circle takes out the thing. My biggest beef, though, wasn't even that, because I get it, right? We got to continue the feud somehow. Well, how do we do it? We're taking your shit out of commission. Okay, so it's Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle, right? Yet I have yet to fucking hear that FTR1 has beef with Chris Jericho, because the only fucking person FTR1 and FTR2 are talking about are Santana and Ortiz, and I haven't heard Ortiz say anything about how he hates Wardlow. It's always about FTR1 and FTR2, and same with Shawn Spears and Sammy Guevara. Now Sammy Guevara is starting to flirt with the idea of fighting MJF, so I like that a little bit, but each of these segments is just one-offs. So it's like you're not even really like faction warfare. You just have beef with that one person over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're just friends of my enemy, or
Yeah,
whatever,
like Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, right.
Like what Eddie Kingston's saying with Penta.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I need some intermingling. I want to hear Wardlow has beef with Sammy Guevara. I want to hear Jake Hager go after Shawn Spears. Like, mix it up a little bit. Stop being this segmented. Well, you get what I'm saying. Fight. I would like to see them fight each other, but I wouldn't like to see a promo. I agree. All right, so now let's get back to it after we get that rant in here. Next up, we had the TNT Championship match, Miro versus Evil Uno.
I think this was a home run. I think everybody did their role well here. I like the fact that Uno got offense without it being at the detriment of actually looking strong to Miro. It was all opportunity. It was by chance. It was Miro being too cocky in a moment or whatever. And Evil Uno, for whatever it's worth, I like this guy more every time I watch him. He's developing a swagger to him and a kind of a personality even behind the mask. And I think the Dark Order helped kind of cement this in as we were really God damn, I want this guy to win. But too bad. You're not beating Miro. Look at that guy. Fuck, look at him. Good God. Yeah,
I agree. I think Evil Uno is the coolest dork in the room. I think he's going to tell you about how he has the highest score on Frogger or whatever the fucking
The coolest dork in the room might be the name of this episode.
Yeah, I mean, he really is, right? He's the coolest dork in the room.
Right.
Because if you're okay, maybe I'll flirt with the nerd things, right? Maybe I'll play a game of Dungeons and Dragons. And then once you start to play that game, everyone's like, Evil Uno's
He's the guy at the party that's actually going to bust out a dance, and you're going to be like, oh, shit. And then you're going to be like, that wasn't actually kind of cool, man. Okay. He's got some swag.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, fuck. Okay, this is going to be really bad for him. And then he pulls it off. Or he's the guy that tells a joke, knock, knock, and everyone's like, God damn it, man. Don't finish this. And everyone ends up laughing. And you're like, okay, all right. Don't say another one. Good job, pal. Good
Stay on high.
job.
Retire.
Yeah. I will say this, though, about the lead up to this match. As much as Brody Lee is a, driving force behind the Dark Order. And for as long as the Dark Order is around, he should be the driving force. But we kind of did the whole, I want to win the TNT championship match for Brody Lee when 10 faced Darby Allin. So I don't know if we want to go to that well too many times when it's, John Silver challenges for the heavyweight championship and he's going to do it for Brody Lee. It's like, let's not.
Yeah, you're going to cheapen that at some point, right?
Right, exactly. Because to the defense of what I'm saying here is my wife, who kind of checks in and out while I watch Dynamite, was like, didn't they already say this? I was like, well, but Evil Uno's also in that group. And she's like, oh, okay, I got it. And then I was like, if casual people are getting confused, again, let's not.
Yeah, because 10 wrestled for that reason, right?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
And he blah, blah.
If 10's going to wrestle for it, I understand. And if everyone wants to wrestle for that, I get it. Like, I'm not saying abandon it wholeheartedly, but don't do the whole, this is a big night, this is when I'm going to do it for Brody Lee, and then you also come up short, because then it's going to seem like maybe Brody Lee didn't teach a shit because all you guys keep fucking losing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you guys are all doing this for Brody Lee and you're all fucking losing.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's weeping. And
yeah, like, he ain't too happy about this shit, so maybe stop saying his name.
Yeah.
But Miro looked great. I'm excited to see where Miro goes from here because he took out Evil Uno. Before that, at Double or Nothing, he took out Lance Archer, who was the big bad monster here. Where do you think Miro goes? Or does he just become this wrecking ball that bounces into just all the baby faces?
I think this is a great way when you don't have like a solid idea. Like they knew, all right, we're going to give Darby Allin a run with the TNT championship and we're going to build him up to something. If you don't have that person right now, then this is great to let Miro just like put a boot down the throat of anybody that tries. You know what I mean? Just make it seem like, and that's how you could build that next star. Somebody's like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure out a way to bring down this monster. So I kind of hope they do that.
Yeah, I just want someone to have a storyline with them. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want it just to be one-off championship matches. Again, it works right now because he is establishing himself as the big bad monster, but someone needs to wrangle him in a little bit.
This would have to be a long-term one the way I'm describing it, right? Like 9 months, right? And it's going to be a couple of these one-off matches and then somebody gets tough and is like, I can do it, and they come close, right? And so they get another match, and then we get this little like to the pay-per-view. Next, Miro still gets him. Then that happened, couple squash, then another guy, and then next on, onto the next pay-per-view. And then finally somebody is like, I'm a dinosaur, and he, you know what I mean? Like finally gets it.
So that's as longtime listeners will know, my favorite promotion is ECW of all time. Although AEW is coming close, I will say that. Man, these 2 years have been off the charts entertaining, but ECW still has this special place in my heart. I think if you're going to have Miro be this wrecking ball champion, the way you combat that is you have, and again, follow me here, I'm not saying do it story for story, like mirror it exactly, but in ECW, you had a wrecking ball named Taz, and then on the other side, you had this homicidal, genocidal, suicidal Sabu, and they were building up parallel to each other until they reached an apex where they said like, hey, there's not enough room in this promotion for both of us, so we got to figure out who's the top dog here. That's how I think you do it. Now, you could have done it with Darby Allin, but Darby Allin already lost to Miro. Now, we'll see where this goes with Darby Allin, but someone like that to where it's not just a monster going up against a monster, but a monster going up against, someone not afraid to die, one of those kind of things, or even a Jungle Boy who's just like, I'm the best wrestler in this ring, something like that. I would think that's what I'm wanting to see out of this championship run.
Hey, you might know this. Big Josh is asking, are they Friday night, tomorrow night? We're recording this on Thursday night.
Yes,
for everybody not watching live when it's on a playback.
Yeah, we are live. This is a Thursday night that we're recording this. They are going to be on tomorrow night at 9:00. The big match for tomorrow night is an MMA fight between Jake Hager and Wardlow. And then next week, so this week is Friday night, but then the following week is going to be on a Saturday night, and that's going to be headlined by the World Championship match, Kenny Omega taking on Jungle Boy.
Nice.
So that's what we got. Friday this week, Saturday in 2 weeks. So
and then back to Wednesdays.
Then back to Wednesdays. After the NBA playoffs are done, then we're back to Wednesdays.
Playoffs?
Playoffs? Man, I tell you what. God dang. Quick side note.
Yeah.
NBA playoffs. How many fucking people are getting hurt?
Everybody.
It's like, this is the walking wounded. I don't even.
Yeah, this is the it's also the season back from the coronavirus one.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's surprising, but I'm not like, what's going on? I'm kind of like, man, that's a lot. You know what I mean? I'm like, I wouldn't have thought there'd be that many. So
Well, and it was a short turnaround too. Their off season was shorter than normal.
Right.
But man, so many stars are hurt. Anyhow, just a side note. I want the Suns. Suns in 4.
Sons in 4, yeah.
But Suns in 4.
Sons in 4. Give him the How's Your
love
Father
that guy.
like 17 times. It was just like, Sons in 4.
Sons in 4. Love that guy. All right, now let's get back to the card.
Didn't they give him courtside tickets too? I think the Suns were like, yeah, give that guy seats.
Yeah, he's a star now. What's it called? Barstool Sports are selling T-shirts where he gets 50% the profit, where it's just Sons in 4 guy.
All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna just start problems at wrestling matches, Tom. We're just gonna go around and go viral.
Well,
Wear
hey,
your shirt and we'll fight each other.
yeah, I'll take a dive for you. Just start punching me in the face.
Yeah.
I'll start.
Yeah.
I'll try to sucker punch you, but then you take me down.
Yeah, I'll give you the schnabitz in the corner. All right.
There you go. Hey, shout out Mick Foley. Next up, we had Kenny Omega come out, and this is where we got the second appearance from Jungle Boy. So Kenny Omega comes out, and he's just saying Jungle Boy is a waste of his time. He's a one-hit wonder. And then Jungle Boy walks out, and he's like, hey, the fuck? But he
Bitch, I
doesn't say
might.
anything.
Right.
But he doesn't say
Yeah.
anything. And then Kenny Omega is just like, what are you doing standing there? Say something. What? You think you're better than me? You think you dress better than me? You're not. And Jungle Boy just does the Botchamania line of, you talk too much. And then we get a pull apart. They're fighting each other. Kenny Omega jumps out of the ring. He heads to the high hills, and we got Jungle Boy looking strong. I kind of already gave you my assessment of what I think is going to happen in 2 weeks' time. But what do you think as far as Jungle Boy versus Kenny Omega? What do you see coming out of this championship match?
I think Kenny Omega is going to win. I think they're going to try to help make Jungle Boy look like he's, tough. And it took Kenny Omega giving everything he had and Don Callis with some trickery. And I liked, I thought both fit the roles well here. Again, I think it's maybe because I'm the smart mark, kind of like, I'm like, well, I know where this is going. So I'm like, yeah, I feel like everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. I wouldn't call this like give them an Oscar or anything, you know what I mean?
Right,
but I
yeah.
think it's good. I think it works.
Well, and using the I talk too much, because everyone in the IWC also watches Botchamania. So now they've got their little, clip in Botchamania for the next episode. I think that was kind of smart. The one thing I will say, and this is again just me, if I could give AEW my 2 cents, is Jungle Boy is great, and Jungle Boy is a fun name, and he comes out and love it, right? All of that's awesome. But let's start calling him more often than not Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Because when he walks out in this segment and he's just wearing a black shirt and jeans, what the fuck is Jungle Boy about that, right? Like, that says nothing about Jungle Boy. This is when it's Jack Perry's walking out. You know what I mean? Like, you can say The Game, Triple H, and I think in this regard, you could say Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, because when he walks out in street clothes, if you're just a casual fan, you're like, well, he has curly hair. Is that what we're saying is jungle people? Like,
Yeah,
that makes no
right.
sense. So,
Yeah.
anyhow, that would just be my 2 cents. Now let's get back into the action, and it was quick. Lance Archer just
I love
squashed the motherfucker.
Dude, I love this. And this is great because coming off the big loss, it helps to make it look like, hey, you aren't just like Lance Archer isn't missing a step. He just went against a buzzsaw. And I like that he didn't even celebrate. He just turns around and leaves. And Jake's like, all right, time to go get drunk, I guess. You brought the Coke, right?
Yeah, I'll go get the check. All right, go back there. Yeah. Yeah, this was great for what it was, right? It was Lance Archer, still a monster. If you don't believe it, we'll prove it. Here you go. Now let's move on to some women's action, because it was right before the main event. And you know what we got to do right before the main event? We got to have a women's match, and it was Nyla Rose versus legit Layla Hirsch. This was good. I don't know if this was going to be something that's going to make anyone's top 10 list at the end of the year, but
But I think, it both played the role here. It made it look like, hey, these are two tough, physical, beat you up girls who, you know what I mean business. And it was just a matter of hey, one was bigger and better on this night. I think they both came out looking strong. And, I think we knew, look, Nyla Rose is penciled in for this first title shot with the DMD. And nobody's beating the DMD. So, but, I figured that one was coming in. And, again, both look tough. Layla Hirsch, they got to plug her up again. Should be on Team Taz, but.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll see if there is a Team Taz as we move week over week, because Brian Cage looks like he might be leaving old Team Taz, and we'll see what that means for the rest of Team Taz. But Nyla Rose gets the victory. After the match, Tony Schiavone caught up with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and I thought this was kind of cool, where she said Nyla Rose needs this title match because she needs
She makes the title. Or the title makes her. Right.
Yeah, she needs to have the title to make her legit, whereas Dr. Britt Baker legitimizes the title.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's good. Yeah, it was good.
I like that little line.
That was good. She's the best right now. I mean, she's just must-see TV when she's on, and I'm here for it. I love it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we need to go Chris Jericho-like, where we're having 15-minute segments in front of a crowd, cutting promos off of just whatever, right? But featuring her every episode in these little in and out segments, like what she did here with Tony Schiavone, is perfect. And then let's get her back in the ring. And again, the money match is it's the Lights Out Part 2 for the title. That's where the money is. And hopefully
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa and her Lights Out 2.
Thunder Bowls.
So let's get into the main event. It was Hangman Adam Page and Dark Order's 10 taking on Powerhouse Hobbs and Brian Cage. And this is where we're talking about Team Taz. Not everything's too great in the world of Team Taz. Hangman and 10 get the victory here. What did you think of the match? Mm-hmm. Well, so I don't think they're doing much, and I don't necessarily hate that, because I think where they can do all their fun stuff is on the secondary shows. You feature them a little bit more, getting victories on Dark over some tag teams that we don't know about, or maybe having a tough match where Colt Cabana loses on an elevation. Those are perfect spots for where the Dark Order is. Where I'm starting to get a little bit nervous, or maybe even frustrated, I'm not exactly sure what the emotion I am feeling here with Hangman is that he's the number one contender. It's time, I think. I know we got the Jungle Boy match in 2 weeks, and that's great. Looking forward to it. Jungle Boy Jack Perry thinks it's going to do great. But let's start having Hangman either have a crisis of expectation or the drive to overcome a former friend. This is where we need Hangman to be like, hey, Dark Order, thanks guys so much. You got me to a place I didn't think I could get to. Kenny Omega, your ass is mine. I'm kicking the shit out of you. Like that. I'm ready for Hangman to start that ascension towards Kenny Omega.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Josh letting us know that once again I was muted. This system has been giving us the fits. Big Josh, you'll remember from being a longtime listener, the technical difficulties still plague the Spanish Announce Table. There's still a demon watching over us.
It's the colon of this podcast. It's the Spanish Announce Table colon. Technical difficulties. I mean, that's right. As sure as the sun comes out in July, we will have technical difficulties.
Yeah, if we ever have to rename the show for whatever reason, if we are in a legal battle, technical difficulties will be the new name of this show. And all I said was, I think Tom summed it up anyway. I said Dark Order isn't doing much, and that's where it's at. I get what you're saying. I think it's fine. I mean, they're better off on the other shows because they're not doing a big deal. So let's not overload them on Dynamite. But these were good fits for tonight. For the show.
What do you think about Hangman though? What do you want to see out of Hangman? Because I don't know what else he can do, because he's already lost the number one spot and regained it by beating Brian Cage.
I think the only thing to do is to hammer home the thing we've asked for, right? Like get him depressed, get him drinky, get him, down and out, and then he's got to have a redemption story. I don't even necessarily care what the redemption story is, right? Against it's Omega's friendship back after Omega, dumps Don Callis and goes face or something. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, that could be that's a good one. I just came up with that, right? Like, after the end of heel Omega, right? Something, right? Something kind of tears him out. I don't have an idea right away, but unless you got one.
Well, I think the fun story would be now that Hangman has got the Dark Order to get him into a spot where he has that confidence again to be Hangman Adam Page. He says, I'm going after Kenny Omega, but because Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are all heels and friends together, as Hangman sets his sights on Kenny Omega, they, knowing him better than anyone else, chip away at that confidence, right? They're like, hey, but remember, man, you were the one that took the pinfall when you guys lost the championships to the FTR guys. You were the one who lost that number one spot to Brian Cage because you couldn't focus. And then we see, like what you're saying, the depression, the self-doubt, and then that gets him all the way down. Then something, who maybe it is the Dark Order comes back to save the day, or something is the catalyst to switch it on a drop of a dime and then get him. And then again, riding in on that. He has to ride in on a white horse when he beats Kenny Omega. If he doesn't ride in on a white horse, what the fuck are we doing, man?
It's got to be a white horse. It has to be a white horse, and he's got to have a whiskey in hand.
Oh, I mean, just picture it. Just picture the scene of just Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks coming out looking like the dumbest versions of handicapped HBK and Diesel walking out there. And then they're just, circle jerking each other and loving it and too sweet in each other's assholes. And then you get Hangman coming out stoic. No fucking music. No music. Just stoic. And gets off the horse. Then the music hits and he makes his way to the ring. Oh, fuck. You sissy boys, you're about to get your ass whooped.
Sissy boys.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Sissy boys.
but that was AEW Dynamite. It's a Friday night. I don't know if they're necessarily going to be doing too many out of the wall, off the wall kind of ideas or matches. We're kind of in a holding pattern because of the playoffs. Although we did get Andrade 2 weeks ago, and we're going to get a sit-down interview with him tomorrow night. But with all that being said, I don't know if they're necessarily going to pull the trigger on a big title change or anything like that. So it was a good episode of Dynamite, but not their best.
Yeah, I think their ratings have been down due to the Friday night things, which typically is a thing.
Right.
So yeah, we'll see. I'm excited though. I mean, they're still putting out good content, so I'm down for it.
It's the best content, I think, still, even compared to how good NXT is doing right now.
Yeah,
they're
and let's get into that. And before we get into that, one more time to Big Josh in the chat. Anybody else can join the chat. It's not just the Big Josh chat. I mean, we like the Big Josh, but he's probably looking for, He wants to make friends too. He probably barely even can stand us. You know what I mean? So
I can barely stand myself.
Right. Yeah. God damn. Boy, do I got stories. All right, so it's funny you said that about NXT because I think NXT, now granted they had 2 shows to do this with, were the best programs of the week. Now, let's just let me transition over here, and Todd wants to hang out with us. Oh, Todd over there. NXT In Your House. I'm going to run through it. We're also going to touch on kind of the NXT fallout as we go along because there was 2 major things from that. But feel free to chime in if I don't mention anything else, Tom, and anybody in the chat room. But NXT In Your House. First of all, they've done this before, but what do you think of the NXT In Your House with the nostalgia, the colors that are not the black and gold, that kind of thing?
Yeah. I think this is the last time I want to see it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see Michael Hayes again. I'm tired of Michael Hayes.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Now you're starting to become a nostalgia act about the nostalgia act, right? Where it's in your house, so we got to get Todd Pettengill in there again.
And you can't do this so many more times, right? Like you can only do the same joke so many times. I'm not going to forget it by next year that you did the Rock'em Sock'em Robots or whatever. As cool as that spot was, with Dexter Loomis, which I don't have that in my notes. Let's talk about that, right? So, Todd's doing all the things. He's got the rotary phone. He's got the whatever, right? The VCR.
The VHS.
Whatever. And he's going to play the little, fighting Rock'em. I think it was Rock'em, so whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's Dexter Loomis, and he's like, so how the ladies treating you? And he just snaps that thing, and he's like, yeah, you won. You won. I mean, all that's fun. But next year when you do it, it's going to be like, all right, this is hokey now.
Yeah. Like I said, I think this was good, but if we were to have it in your house in October, I don't necessarily need to see the same jokes.
And notwithstanding, I think, oh look, Miro's back. Look at that. See, if you're not watching the YouTube and you're only watching the podcast,
You have no idea what we're talking
shame
about.
on you. Shame on you. Let me fix that. So anyway, all right, we can get on. I would like to see the NXT contemporary take on the In Your House, right?
Yes, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for not to jump ahead too much, but we have now a new $1 million champion. I want to see what a $1 million champion looks like in 2021. Because back in the day, I knew what that looked like. It was limousines, it was jets and all of that stuff. But things have changed, right? What's your cryptocurrency? What's your fucking Twitch handle? What's your Twitter followers? Like, that's a little bit different of the ballers in 2021. So let's update that.
Well, and more on that as we go through. But let's start off right away. We had a big 6-man tag match for 2 titles, the tag titles and the North American Championship. Thick boy, Colossal Bronson Reed and MSK taking on Legado del Fantasma. I thought this was a really energy-filled match, right? There wasn't a whole lot to digest, I think, story perspective. I mean, I think we understood this was either Legado was winning this or end of that, right? Yeah, you didn't like it.
I thought this was a paint-by-numbers, multi-man NXT match. I mean, it had all of the same things we've seen every time. Someone went through a barrier. Hey, there was a kick-up spot. Hey, there was a hot tag. Hey, there was cool trio moves. It was like, yeah, okay. Here's the thing that WWE needs to have a come to Jesus meeting about. For as often as it fucking happens, you guys have to stop acting like you've never seen someone get knocked through a barrier. It happens almost weekly. When Braun Strowman was on the roster before he got fired, he was doing it every week. Like, we got to stop with that.
I was listening to, and we'll pause, get back in Your House in a second. I was listening to Busted Open, and it was shortly after Jimmy, the Raw new guy, what's his name?
Oh, Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith.
Beat your ass.
He was on there just discussing like his first time doing the show, and he said the thing they kept telling him was, "You've got to be excited." That's the reason they got rid of Adnan Virk. They're like, "You've got to act like if the people hearing you like, oh, he body slammed him through a thing, like cool, right?" And I get that, but like sometimes it, if it's the second time it's happened in the match, guys, this is the WWE.
Well. And I think you can get excited in a different way than just high-pitched voice and acting as if you've never seen it. You can say
it's not shock. It's like, man, another one. This is insane. He's put him through 2 of them. Like, the destruction, right? That kind of stuff.
Right. You can be in awe of destruction. You don't have to be surprised of a spot. That's the thing that I think I'm tired of. Is as often as we do the big guy runs little guy through a barrier, we got to act like we've seen it before.
If I'm a WWE commentator, anytime 2 opponents are outside the ring, I'm assuming one of them's going through that barricade. I'm ready for it.
Right, and that maybe even allude to that. Like, this barrier has been, destructive.
It's the new Spanish announce table. That's our new show name. If we ever have to change this, we're the fucking ringside barrier, or whatever the fuck they call that thing. I mean, Jesus.
I like it.
It is the new fucking Spanish announce table. Everybody goes through the goddamn barricade.
Yeah. God damn you. Yep. Man, that's the observations you get at the Spanish announce table. You're not going to hear that on Busted Open Radio.
No, you sure aren't.
Yeah. But anyhow, with this match, again, I wasn't the biggest fan of it because, again, I felt like it was paint by numbers. I still think the wrong team won. I think it would have been cooler if the faction had all the titles and then you get some dissension with Thick Boy and MSK and then you see where that goes. But I think a faction having all the titles elevates them. Obviously, we did it with Undisputed Era. Why can't we do it with some minorities? I think that would be cool. And again, the Lucha Libre gimmick that they got going on, I'm invested in. I think they should have won, but I'm not ready. So,
I agree with you. I think they should have won. Because, again, I don't like MSK's fun. Don't get me wrong. And I want Bronson Reed to be a thing.
Oh, I like Bronson Reed. Yeah,
but
I like Bronson Reed.
Those tag, if you're looking at like, we can go this way or we can go this way, hot damn.
Yeah.
Going with them, having the time. And to WWE's credit, they beat gimmick matches into the ground. But we have not had a whole lot of these like, multiple competitors with multiple titles on the line all at once, right? They don't do that a whole lot. So one of these times, like, I don't even know that I've seen it where they've pulled the trigger on it, right? Have they done that?
I can't think of it.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. I mean, maybe WCW has done it, but I can't think of WWE doing it. What I will say, though, about Thick Boy that I did applaud him on is one of the spots where he just sat on one of the guys. I think it was, I don't know. But, like, that's the typical casual wrestling fan would say. That guy would sit on you and crush you, and he did it. So I like that spot.
Big Josh in the chat pointed out, I said he thinks once they go back in front of a live crowd, that barrier destruction will start to fade away, and there's probably some of that.
Or they're going to do the one right in front of the timekeeper.
Yeah, it's always the timekeeper one.
It's the timekeeper barrier that they go through. But yeah, I think, Josh, you are right. They might get away from it a little bit, but again, act like you've seen it before.
So Mercedes Martinez taking on Xia Li, and it looks like this is going to continue. I mean, the match was fine, but like then she loses and then still gets beat up by Mei Ying, and so now it's going to be her and Mei Ying. Maybe they still aren't really telling us much about this Mei Ying, Xia Li, whatever they call that group. Like, what is that about?
It's fun in the moment. I will say that when she walks out and the lady takes her seat and that guy accompanies her down to the ring, I'm invested. I don't know what's happening. It seems like a really cool kung fu movie that I'm about to watch. I'm all into it. The bell rings. The match happens. It's fine. I just don't understand if Mercedes Martinez is going to have a chair at the end of this segment and look strong and go after the big bad, witch or whatever she is in the chair, then why can't she just win this match? Why has she got to lose the match and then also get her throat taken and thrown into the seats? Like, you made her look like an idiot twice. Right?
Hey, man, Big Josh, I'm glad he's in the chat room, man. He's giving us fact-checking gold now, too. He says HBK and Diesel versus Bulldog and Owen. The titles changed hands, but the decision was reversed the next night. And he's right. He's right.
But so it wasn't yes, but then they reversed it, so not technically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's an asterisk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fact check that, Josh.
Fact check that. All right.
Kidding.
Now we got into one of the fun spots of the night, and then we'll follow it up also with NXT on Wednesday, or Tuesday, excuse me. Cameron Grimes, LA Knight, the $1 Million Championship ladder match to the moon. I love this. We cemented in Cameron Grimes as a babyface in this match. Yep. We really hammered LA Knight as the heel.
Yeah.
The right person's holding that title. And then let's talk about the match before we cut into the fallout from it. What did you think of the match where we ended up going into NXT?
Fun.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. Again, I think they did everything as much as they could safely, right? There was no moment where I was like, fuck, what are you guys doing? Right? Like there was no like, you don't need to do that. We all know it's, theater here. But with that being said, it was physical. It was fun. There was some good moments there. I like the gold ladder, right? I like that the gold ladder was the ladder that they climbed to get to the title. So it was a fun match.
And I thought Grimes was going to get it. I thought that spot, I was like, all right, he did it. And then LA Knight comes in at the end, and I'm like, oh.
And then Grimes falls into another ladder on the outside. Oh, bouncing off that son of a bitch like a ping pong.
So, and that's great. We get the visual of him holding the belt. The fireworks are going off behind him, right? Like he's Shawn Michaels and it's or Razor, right? And it's all going great. And we flash forward to NXT on Tuesday. And he's got the $1 Million Man, does LA Knight. And he's telling him, hey, love you. You're my hero. You were what I tried to be. Like all this, like this is a dream. Like I want you to seriously know that. I need you to know that. And then, whap, just like, hey, now I don't fucking need you. Like I want, what'd you fucking think was gonna happen? I fucking loved all this. He's beating his ass. Grimes to make the save, and it was all believable, and I loved all of it.
And I liked how quick it happened too. It wasn't one of these things where, Ted DiBiase accompanies him for a couple.
This wasn't Randy Orton and Ric Flair,
right? Yeah, it wasn't one of those things where we start to see dissension and then we see the turn. It was just like, no, hey, I'm bad.
I used you.
Bad. Yeah, I'm bad to my core. Bye-bye, old man.
Well, and it's great because not only did he use him to get what he wanted, which we want a heel to do, right? Use people to get what you want and then expose your plans.
Yeah. I still have to get mine, right? I still have to make sure that my interests are number one, not yours. So like I don't compromise. Yeah. I'm the man.
Yeah, and I think I was muted again, but you get it. Like it's that he was willing to beat up somebody that he admired and loved, and we still hate him, or we hate him more for that even, right? Like he's willing to beat somebody up, even when it's somebody that he loves and admires and whatever. Like that's more
like
important.
That's
and
what
just
I
like
like.
That.
It was just like that. It wasn't this like struggle or like conscious of mind where he had to like decide on what he was going to do. He's like, no, I know what I'm going to do. I think
he knew it all along. Yeah. When he had the chance, he's like, I'm going to have to screw over Ted DiBiase, a guy I admire and would love to be a mentor, but like I can't have that. I don't need a mentor. That's not what $1 million fucking champion would do.
Those are the breaks, kid. Like I gotta
stupid.
Gotta get mine.
Yeah, it was great. All right, so and so we're going to get this a little further, but I think LA Knight's still, like, I don't think this title's going back on the line, maybe it'll go back on the line between them, but LA Knight's still going to have it coming out of this feud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what's the payoff? I
don't know.
Cameron Grimes gets his own title? He maybe has his own cryptocurrency?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the payoff is, but I think LA Knight's got to have the title, right? He's got to have the title. Because I don't want to see Grimes with it. Like you said last week, that's going to turn into the 24/7 title.
Yep, exactly.
And I don't even want Grimes having $1 Million Man as his manager.
Nope.
Maybe a few fun segments over the next couple of weeks of like, hey, I'm going to set you back on the path of how before I was the $1 Million Man, I was a self-made man and made myself the $1 Million Man, and here's how you do it, right? Something like that. And then they're off, right?
I think the cool thing would be as if Cameron Grimes got $1 Million Man on his way, right? And he's like, yeah, I get it, man. You thought LA Knight was going to be your guy. He wasn't, but you know what you do? You persevere and you do X, Y, and Z. And then $1 Million Man goes off and walks about and goes like, you know what? I think you're right. And Cameron Grimes is the one who's the smart guy. I think that's maybe the route we go. But regardless, I'm interested to see what the payoff is because for all the reasons you said, I don't think Cameron Grimes should be the $1 Million champion because it becomes R-Truth 24/7 title. And I think the $1 Million looks cool on LA Knight, right? Like he looks like $1 million with the $1 Million belt. So keep it on him for as long as you can.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Raquel Gonzalez, Ember Moon. Ember Moon, for what she's worth, seems to have a charisma that just in-ring that doesn't translate onto the promo platform. Because I think you can get behind, you're like, yeah, she's spunky, and you know what I mean? But that's about it that I took from this match. You know what I mean?
Well, here's what I took from it is going into it, and I think I mentioned this when we did our picks, Ember Moon hasn't won a match since, pre-pandemic, it feels like. So how was I going to take her credible as far as beating Raquel Gonzalez? So going into it, it was just a throwaway match. And then the finish doesn't make sense. So Raquel Gonzalez's little friend, I can't remember her name, pink hair, she's doing all the things, right? And then we get green hair, Shotzi Blackheart to take out her, right? And gets her out of the picture. But Raquel Gonzalez still just beats Ember Moon. So what were we doing the entire... What's the girl's name? Her name escapes me right now.
Dakota Kai?
Dakota Kai, that's it. Yep, Dakota Kai. So Dakota Kai, throughout this entire match, is doing all these little heel things to help Raquel Gonzalez. But in the end, Raquel Gonzalez never even needed it. So it's just like, what were we doing with that
It's a weird dynamic, that Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai thing. I feel like all of a sudden they got a hot shit about Raquel Gonzalez and are like, she's going to be the one that we're going to fast track to success. And I'm whatever. I mean, I don't know what their reasoning is because it's not jumping out of the screen. But I think, so she was intended to be the Diesel to Dakota Kai, Shawn Michaels, but then they were like, oh no, she's the one. But there's something working there. We don't want to break that up. I don't know where it goes. I mean, obviously those two are going to have to come to head at some point, I would think.
You would think, but like you said, I think Raquel Gonzalez is all sizzle and no steak. I don't really see what she has. She has a massive back where she flexes it and has the belt, and that's cool, right? She is a physical specimen. Applaud you for all your hard work that you've done, looking like $1 million. You look great getting off the bus, right? She's got the like, I'll kick anyone's ass kind of vibe to her. But why do you need Dakota Kai's help? And I get you're a heel, but that doesn't sync with me, right? It doesn't make sense, especially because in this match specifically, you never needed it in the first place. If you would have used a heel tactic beat Ember Moon, okay, well now we get that maybe all these muscles and maybe all this strength isn't enough for you to keep the title, so you got to do all these underhanded things. But if you're going to be the Miro boulder that goes through the division, you can't also then have the heel tactics with a sidekick that helps you at every turn, because then what? It's too many things, right? So I don't know. This was a miss, but it was more of a miss because Ember Moon was such a underwhelming challenger for the belt.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Then we got the NXT Fatal 5-Way, Cross, Cole, Gargano, O'Reilly, Dunn. We put some of the hardest hitting folks in pro wrestling industry into this match, right? I mean, they went just fucking at it. And I like that Cross still comes away, and we're going to talk about the fallout of this, of course. But this match was, I think, what we expected, right? Again, it's a multi-person match. NXT, they're going to be all over the place. They're going to use every bit of that arena that they've got. They know how to kind of hit their spots.
And I like the subplots too, right? So it was Karrion Kross stands tall on the contenders for the title, and that was the number one story. But still, throughout this, we had Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly every turn trying to go at each other's throats. And even the finish was Kyle O'Reilly trying to get his submission on Adam Cole to the point where he doesn't even let go of the submission when he's being choked out by Karrion Kross. So I like that subplot. And I liked the Pete Dunne doesn't back down from anyone, even when Karrion Kross looks like $1 million and has, all the momentum behind him. Pete Dunne's still going to say, bring it. I'm the bruiserweight and I'll fuck you up. And then you had Johnny Gargano with the, hey, I'm just waiting for my moment. Oh, here's my moment. Haha, sidekick. Wow. And then I'm in it. I might win it. Like, everyone played their parts really well for subplots of Karrion Kross is the top dog here. Everyone, get in line.
Well, and that subplot carried over greatly into NXT on Tuesday. And we get William Regal, Mr. Regal, coming out and tearfully telling us that he's about to retire, that he's kind of lost, security control of the thing, but going on it. Yeah.
Well, but the way NXT TakeOver ended was with William Regal saying, I don't know if I can handle this.
Can't keep
too
doing
much
this anymore.
chaos. Right. And then we get to Tuesday where William Regal says, I'm throwing in the towel.
And that's when Karrion Kross comes out and he's like, you sissy bitch. You crying? There's no crying in NXT, right? Like, he's giving him the fucking, what point he's like, say it. I want to hear you say it, that you're leaving because I'm the shit and I can rule this place through the chaos, right? Like, all that jazz. And then we get the Samoa Joe music. And I like that Samoa Joe's like, he came out there on his own. He's like, you said you want to see me? And he's like, yeah, not out here. You know what I mean? Like, in the back later, but I guess since you're here, offers him the GM role. And he says, nah, that's you. But I can make sure that you're not getting fucked around, right? I'll be the enforcer. And I love this. I love the Joe stare downs. I like the Joe, the Joe character's back. It can be overdone sometimes, but I like the backstage where we got Gargano being a goof, and he's like, get the fuck out of here. I like the Pete fucking Dunne showdown.
He choked out Adam Cole.
He choked out Adam Cole. We get to see, even if Samoa Joe can't wrestle, like we think he maybe can't under the WWE umbrella, we're getting to see more of the actual Samoa Joe that we know.
But he can. That's the thing. They said instantly, you can't be a competitor, which that's like a gun in a play. That fucking gun's going off. If you say he can't do it, he's going to fucking do it. So, we're going to get...
Yeah, we're going to get that.
Samoa Joe in an NXT match. I just wonder, because I do think, breaking kayfabe for a second, he is still not medically cleared, I believe. I don't try to read the dirt sheets, but again, on Twitter, you just see certain things pop up all the time. I still think he may not be medically cleared, breaking kayfabe. So I'm curious to see, does William Regal and Samoa Joe stay buddy-buddy this entire time? Because do we get Samoa Joe, doing some...
They're not the best of friends.
Right. Does he do some tactics behind William Regal's back that pisses him off? Or vice versa, right? William Regal put Samoa Joe, his muscle, in these situations that he just doesn't want to deal with, right? He has to make a tough decision. Hey, Samoa Joe, you go do it. He's like, what? I'm not a decision maker. Hey, but I can't make it tonight. Remember, I got my bum knee, man. I can't walk out there. And now Samoa Joe's put in these situations, and maybe William Regal's the heel. I'm interested in that storyline for as long as it lasts. But with that all being said, Samoa Joe's winning the title off Karrion Kross. That's where we're going. Whenever that happens, that's the fucking story.
That'll be fun. I like it. Yeah, I think NXT had some of the best storytelling of the week.
Yes,
done for sure.
Well, especially just Samoa Joe going nose to nose with
William
everyone.
Regal. Give him one of the best goddamn fucking
William Regal
performances.
Can always do this. He is so good at this just old man, living on a prayer. Here's my last hurrah kind of story. He does that better than anyone. But he has to stay around. He has to stay around just for the simple fact that he has to yell "War Games" every time that
War Games.
He has to stay for that.
So I like where NXT's at. I want this. If WWE main roster isn't finding use for somebody, I don't want them just to have to be gone. Like NXT could be its own brand with its own people that never go to what we call the main roster. Like
Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny
Joe
Gargano
fits here.
do not look like they're going. Yeah.
This fits here. We had Thatcher, Gargano, like I said, this brutal match. We got Pete motherfucking Dunne. We've got Cross. Like, Joe's a good fit for this. NXT is not flips and shits. It's fists and fucking barricades. You know what I mean? Like, it's yeah.
Just think of Timothy Thatcher versus Samoa Joe.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Pete fucking Dunne.
Oh, a triple threat? Timothy Thatcher, Pete Dunne, and Samoa Joe.
Ciampa even in on this? I mean, like,
But no, my dream one-on-one match, all of a sudden, the thing I have to see, other than Hangman versus Kenny
Thatcher
Omega,
and Joe.
Thatcher and Joe. That is my wrestling wet dream right now. Oh, my God. Cannot wait.
I still love the Joe when he was like, hey, Johnny, do me a favor, man. He's like, yeah, what's that? He's like, leave. That was fun. That was a good one. All right. NXT in your house. I like where NXT's at and where we're headed. That's good stuff. We're going to hit some main roster points, and then we're going to do a Hell in a Cell picks here. Smackdown. I like the way Smackdown operates the Roman Reigns storyline. It started our show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is what we need more of, is the bumping into each other. The one segment goes into the next segment that goes into the next thing, because even though there can be segments that are designed at a certain time, right? If someone has a special announcement, or if someone has the number one contenders match, obviously we don't need those things to bump into everything else, but it just makes no sense that, like, I won a match and now I walk out of the ring. Hey, someone else walked by. I don't see them because my feud is with that person. It reminds me of, like, when they tried to do the bumping around, when Drew McIntyre was like, someone take me out. And he walks up to Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman's like, but I'm wrestling Shane McMahon. It's like, what? You wouldn't want to be the champion? Why wouldn't you not think you could do both? And again, not to toot the horn of ECW, but ECW did this better than anyone, where, you'd start off with a promo with Joey Styles and Shane Douglas and end up with New Jack beating up Devon Dudley. And so I need more of that.
Ding Dong Hello was...
get the fuck out of here.
Dude,
Look,
they're just laughing now? And that's it?
And here's the thing. I liked it better when Vicky Guerrero did the annoying heel thing.
Yeah. Like,
I don't need Bayley to do it as well.
This is what I mean. We go from well thought out, weaved in and out, planned storyline of Roman Reigns, Usos, all the entering, all the levels, to like, that's what we're getting? Like, that. I was going back and forth with somebody on this about Twitter who's trying to, like, defend the other fucking storylines, and I'm like, this is not even close to the level of effort, fucking talent that they're putting towards the writing here. It's so weird. It's so weird.
And it's so depressing, for as good as we know Bayley can be, that she's went from a champion who's playing Queen of the Hill, knocking down all the contenders and also using Sasha Banks, her best friend, to stay in power, to doing a show with the worst name, Ding Dong Hello, and just laughing. We've went from that at the start of the pandemic, coming out of it, to where she's now Diet Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah. And Ding Dong Hello would be fine if it took off, right? Like if she's like, Ding Dong Hello, and everybody was like going along with it. But it didn't. It didn't. And here's where that Thunderdome hurts them. They don't know that it didn't take off, apparently.
Right. Mm-hmm. It may be taking off backstage, right? Maybe Sasha loves it, or maybe, hell, maybe even Bianca loves it and is like, let me get in a storyline with that. But, man, I don't love it at all.
And Otis without a beard looks weirder than Jeff Hardy's back tattoo, so I don't even know.
Yeah, he looks like the bastard son of Chris Farley, doesn't he?
That
Jesus
was interesting.
Christ.
Nakamura and Corbin again on SmackDown. Like, I don't know what we're fucking doing here. And here's where WWE, I'll bring up another example later, but this is what they do. They fail to, tired cliche, strike while the iron is hot. Rick Boog is the goddamn star here. Get him away from these fucks and get him doing something. We need more Boog in our lives.
Or we just need more of him and Nakamura becoming friends, right? It's Nakamura saying like, hey, I hired you to be the guitar player. And then that guy going like, but Nakamura, have you ever tried? And then
let's go to my favorite smoothie spot down here or whatever. And he's like, whatever.
Well, like, you know how they tried to do the silliness of the Viking Raiders versus the Street Profits, and it was fucking dumb because why would Viking Raiders be bowling or whatever? If you still wanted to do that stupid ass shit, it would be better served with Nakamura and this guy developing a friendship by doing these if we want to see why are they friends? How did they become friends? What's their relationship like? You can do those stupid things of they challenge Corbin and fill in the blank doing something, and by them beating Corbin in whatever the activity is, they become closer as friends. That's a better storyline than just, I'm going to steal this guy's hat. Doesn't everyone love that? Because no, be a star. Remember that campaign? Be a star.
Yeah, they don't
Your
give a
fucking
shit about
baby
that.
face. Your baby face is stealing, and we're applauding that. Fucking dumb.
Well, and then we get Raw as kind of the go-home show, I guess, right? If we're not getting, Friday, SmackDown will be. Tomorrow will be the go-home. Well, yeah, that'll be the go-home. Well, no, Hell in a Cell is only Raw, isn't it? No, there's SmackDown matches. That's right. Yeah. So, the Nikki Cross little engine that could storyline is still going forward, but this one's weird. She's not like winning through technical prowess or stick-to-itiveness. It's all like, yuck, you weren't paying attention, and I'm always the benefit, so I don't know if it's going to hit home. It's kind of meaningless.
You could use that statement, Tim, on every segment in Raw right now. There is nothing that
yeah, hold your hats. Hardy, Cedric, Morrison. I don't know why we're making Cedric to look like an easy fucking win for Jeff Hardy all of a sudden, unless we're going to have him like snap like Jericho maybe. I like what Cedric's doing. I like his new attitude, but like,
I don't get it. Look, what are we doing?
And here's my next example of WWE missing the boat. Johnny Drip Drip is something you need to run with right now. The fucking drip stick, the goddamn drip stuff. You do a little 3-minute fucking 3-month bubble of that. It'll fade. You sell some t-shirts. Get away from the fucking Miz for a little while. Like, there's nothing else entertaining going on about any of it. So at least the one thing that's mildly fucking amusing, run with that. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's bad, Tim. It's bad. And why in 2021 would you bet that Jeff Hardy should be the future of an angle where he's wrestling Cedric Alexander? When you look at those two, you're saying that you're going to go with the
he can beat Cedric Alexander after he got his ass beat. Yeah, what good does that say for Cedric Alexander? Eva Marie versus Naomi, and Eva Marie won.
Oh no, let's get into this fucking segment. Okay, so first off, you got me. I am ready to go on this one. First off, you bunch of mouth-breathing, knuckle-dragging IWC dorks who were getting such a hard on that Eva Marie was going to show up on Raw. Who the fuck cares? She's not even... Look, she's beautiful. They have a whole roster of beautiful women. Who cares that she's coming back?
Don't you have Instagram? Are you like,
yeah.
Gone are the days where you should be like, oh my God, a beautiful woman. Like,
it's 2021. You don't have Pornhub? Fucking be an adult. God
you motherfuckers got Pornhub. I know it. I fucking know it. You sending me the goddamn fucking...
Yeah, you always send me the fucking links, you dorks. Here's the thing, though. You guys got so fucking excited about Eva Marie, and then they played you, which they should have. And that was great. The execution of you thought you were going to get the return of Eva Marie, it was so controversial because some people think she sucks. Some people think she's beautiful. She's going to be some type of enigma that's going to be eyeballs watching, right? Okay, got it. And then they give you the curveball of like, she doesn't even wrestle and she got the win. That all on story or all on paper is fine. I am not hating that. But... you stupid ass wrestlers on WWE who are mad about the dumb dorks that are body shaming the bigger girl. What's her name? Piper Niven? Right? That's another fucking dumb thing. Piper Niven in your WWE world is named Piper Niven. She's in NXT UK. Piper Niven. And you're trying to tell me Corey Graves, who is the end-all be-all that knows all things WWE, doesn't know who the fucking person is?
Yeah, them like even saying, not alluding to not knowing who she was, saying this person we've never seen before, this person we have no idea who it is. Well, you're extra calling it out. You're extra insulting my intelligence. It's one thing for you to pull the like, oh my God, and this person, and we're like, wait a minute, don't you know this Piper? But like, you're like, we don't even know who this is. And I'm like, I know you fucking know who this is.
But you could have, you know what, though? You could have gotten away with it with doing this. If Jimmy Smith, who is new to the world of WWE, goes, oh my God, Eva Marie is walking out with this lady. Who would that be? And Byron, who's the babyface that should know it all, or the smartass Corey Graves, who again should know it all, goes, hey, you idiot, that's Piper Niven. And then Jimmy Smith goes, oh wow, Piper Niven. And then whoever you want to have fill in the details says, she's an unstoppable force in NXT UK, and now she looks like she's on Raw. And then that's all you need to do. You don't need to insult her intelligence. And even if you want to give her a new name post-match, you could have just said, Eva Marie says, the winner is Eva Marie. And by the way, that isn't Piper Niven. That's, Drip Drip, Double Drip Drip, or whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah.
But that's not even my fucking biggest beef with this whole goddamn storyline. Again, I like that Eva Marie got the win, never wrestled. That's great. That's fun. But these wrestlers are getting fucking mad that these dorks that live in caves and never seen a real woman are body shaming Piper Niven. And they shouldn't, right? They shouldn't. But you fucking wrestlers get mad at your goddamn boss, who that's the whole fucking story.
Yeah, like that's the story they're telling.
Isn't it funny that the fat chick and the hot chick are friends? That's the fucking story. Don't get mad at goddamn fans when your fucking boss is writing the shit.
Yeah.
You fucking idiots.
Yeah.
God damn. I'm so fucking tired of WWE wrestlers sucking the dick of their fucking bosses, acting like they're faultless when they're fucking mad about the thing the fucking boss is doing. This is why WWE sucks so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Stuck in the 1980s. Dumb fucking idiots.
And everything else was kind of filler outside of, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck it. What else we got to say? Because I'm not going to expand on that any better than you did. Everything else, I mean, RK Bro is barely moving. Asuka Rhea Ripley's barely moving. Alexa Bliss with the Nia Jax thing was a little bit different, right? Okay, now it's your friend, and this whole like, I'm not scared of you. You know what I mean? Like Nia Jax coming in, she was like, don't mess with my friend. She's like, oh, please, sorry. Bitch, you think I'm fucking around? So I like that. But again, everything else on the show is just kind of like, here's this again.
Well, I wanted your feedback on this story then. So Alexa Bliss, right? She does the ring type of crawl now, which is fine. But if you notice, post-match, she starts to do this like possession of Reginald. What do you think about that?
I fucking baffled at the existence of Reginald. Why the fuck is this guy get a fucking like?
I don't get it. But I don't know. And I think maybe that needs to start to be a storyline of like, how the fuck is this guy involved with all these things? Like, tell that story. But yeah, now he's possessed as a sommelier. Yeah. But now he's possessed by Alexa Bliss. I don't get it. Something. But do you think Alexa Bliss now becomes some type of like, because if she's doing possession storylines, that's a little bit different than the Fiend who can do weird things to himself, but not to you.
I don't know what's going on again with the Fiend, but like without him and his vision for these kind of storylines, I worry that WWE knows what they're doing.
Doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I worry that they, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't. So, yeah, maybe she's going to be possessive, you know what I mean? Or possessing folks or mind control, like
But
Debo.
where does that end though? Like, are you going to eventually get her to go back to being normal? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't know where the end game is with when you're starting to possess other wrestlers. That just seems like a really bad, you got to go away for a while and then come out on a motorcycle being biker Alexa Bliss. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where you go with that, but we'll find out.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the Hell in a Cell card. We're going to make some picks, and I don't know why, but we're going to do it. Let's start with the Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler. I think Alexa Bliss is going to win this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the doll's going to do something. Shayna Baszler is going to, unfortunately, she might have to go away because where do you go after you lost to a doll?
Back to NXT.
Yeah, something.
Something. I don't care. I mean, like, if they're not going to do something with her, get her out. If they're not going to let her be Shayna Baszler, then don't use her.
I think she'd be better served on SmackDown because after Bianca Belair gets past Bayley, who does Bianca Belair go up against? I mean, you could do Sasha again, but that seems pretty quick.
And can we all agree now that this Bianca Belair thing has been a mistake?
I don't know if it's been a mistake because I think it was time to pull the trigger on someone other than the 4 horsewomen. But again, her biggest foe since she's won the title is just someone who laughs.
But her call up for up there, I can look at NXT and see a whole bunch of other ladies that are more ready for this main roster. She's not comfortable. It doesn't look like she is the character. It looks like she's nervous to play the character. This title doesn't make sense. Like, it just.
I understand what you mean. Yeah, maybe it was a little too early, like for her specifically, but I think still the call of let's get away from Sasha, Bayley, Becky, Charlotte always winning was the right call.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, though. It's not going to get easier for her because now we're going to get crowds introduced. And, you go to Philly, somewhere like that, and she starts fumbling her lines or looking uncomfortable. They're going to eat her alive.
All right. Well, fuck it. Who do you got? We said Alexa Bliss. All right. Fuck it. Mm-hmm. Universal Championship, Roman Reigns, Rey Mysterio, Hell in a Cell. I'm reading this right off of WWE.com in their order. Roman's not losing this to Rey Mysterio.
No, he's not going to lose. Well, he's not going to lose. But here's the thing. So do the Usos help? And then if the Usos help, does Dominic come out? And then, you know what I mean? Like, we got some parts here that I hope we don't overbook it is what I'm saying. In a Hell in a Cell match, I hope we don't overbook this.
This storyline has reached a point where I'm like, okay, it's starting to drag a little. This is a near mirror of the storyline we told with Jay. It's just that now Jay's on the other side. So there's some obvious differences there. Mm-hmm. But if it leads us to the same thing, then you told the same story.
Yeah, we need to either pull the trigger and say, hey, we did it again, or do something different.
Right, yeah. So either speed it up or wow me with it, yeah. But Roman wins. I don't know what other shenanigans happen, but Roman has that title at the end of the night.
Oh, goodness, yeah. Again, I still think the more interesting story is father-son versus brothers in the tag team championship match. I'm more interested in that than Rey Mysterio versus Roman, but we'll see what happens after Sunday night.
Yeah, SmackDown Women's Championship, Bianca Belair and Bayley, and Bianca wins.
Yeah, who cares? I mean, poor Bayley. I love Bayley. I think Bayley, before she started just going all laughs, was doing amazing as a heel. The early stages of this pandemic, when it was before the Thunderdome and she was the SmackDown champ and she was doing the whole stuff with Sasha Banks, I thought that was some of her best work on top of being the hugger in NXT. She's incredible. I am more impressed with her as her career advances each month, but she needs to get away from this laugh thing because it's falling flat. And again, it's a heel thing, so it's not something I'm supposed to like, but it's also not something I want to hear. It's turn off the channel, or it's turn the channel, turn off the TV type of things I don't want to watch.
Yeah, it's
not MJF heat where it's
uninspiring.
Like, man, yeah, like MJF does the type of stuff where it's like, you fucking asshole, I hate you.
Yeah, annoying person does not make me want a superhero to beat them up. They just want me. I just want them to go away. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and even more so, the annoying villain is like if this was Marvel, which they said they want to be Marvel, right? The annoying villain gets taken out in the first 30 minutes of the movie. They're not the end game, right? They're not the ones challenging Batman in the last scene. They're the ones that are taken out like Scarecrow within a couple minutes. So like, it's not a credible challenger at the end if it's just an annoying fucking heel.
Right. I agree with you. Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair. This is another one where there's just no story to this. This is just two people in a pissing match.
I will say though, the part of Raw that made me giggle the most is when they're doing the whole pull apart with Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte's bleeding from the nose because I think one of the punches actually hit her, and then the refs are doing their whole stuff, and then Charlotte says, "Get the fuck off me," and just like rips her arm away from whoever was touching her. I was like, okay. Are we really mad at each other? Yeah. And if they are, then fucking let them be mad at each other.
Right.
You know, like, I don't know.
I did see a funny, it was either like TikTok or a Facebook video where Andrade, was with Charlotte Flair, and he had like set up his phone and he went to like hug her and she was like, what? And he like picks her, body slams her, and then she's like, are you fucking serious? I was like, that's
more entertaining than the storyline.
More entertaining than any of this. That's why I brought it up. Yeah. So we can have some fun on this fucking show.
Yeah. Well, because who's the babyface and who's the heel?
Exactly. They've blurred this line both ways. It's two heels, I think.
It's just two jerks. Yeah. Hope they both lose.
And the WWE Championship Hell in a Cell match. This one's interesting to me, the Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, because I could feel like I would make an argument that neither one should lose.
Oh, no, Bobby's winning.
I think Bobby's winning. But then Drew's first one, he's losing. But yeah, it's not going to be
something's happening
up and up.
Drew.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't think this is going to be clean. I think this is going to be Is
this when Kofi joins?
Is this when Kofi joins?
Kofi in the Hurt Business.
And then
baby.
Right. And then you get Kofi,
Xavier Woods.
And Xavier Woods. But no, what I'm saying is you go Kofi, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And then Bobby can do something with someone else. That's how we get Drew away from this thing, is because in a moment of desperation.
Helps build Kofi up again some more.
Right? Do that, you fucking dumb shits.
They won't. They fucking won't.
It'll be
Hell in a Cell, again, overdone. No reason to have these two Hell in a Cell matches. Maybe. I can see a Hell in a Cell match for Lashley and Drew because they've had a bit of a, feud.
No, but no.
But I still wouldn't. It's not the one I would pick. I'd pick a different gimmick match.
Yes, I would definitely pick a different gimmick match because the idea of Hell in the Cell is all of these outside forces, right? If, let's just say, in the case of Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, if MVP kept on interfering, costing Drew McIntyre the match, That's what the Hell in the Cell is. It's to contain the violence in one area because you guys are either getting DQ'd and fighting in the crowd or whatever it is, or other people are coming in interfering. That's the purpose of a Hell in the Cell. You know, Rey Mysterio. Now, I understand the motive behind Rey Mysterio and Roman, but Rey Mysterio hasn't been getting fucked with by the Usos. You know what I mean? Because I could see Rey Mysterio saying, you beat up my son. I want you in a cage by myself and I'm going to kill you, right? Like, okay, but there's no outside forces that are stopping you from just doing that in a normal match. So it's poorly told stories to get to a match that doesn't really need to happen.
Well, all right, Tom, we've said everything we can say, and it's time to turn it over to the fans. Right?
Hey!
Listen to what they got to say. And you can do that you can send us an email, tableshow@gmail.com, but let's face it, it's 2021. Nobody's typing out a long-form email unless they got a whole lot to say. Most people take to Twitter, and that's where you can join us. You can use hashtag Tweet the Table on Twitter, and we're going to read them right here on the show. We're going to start with our chat friend today, Big Josh, the Rebel Trucker. He says, hashtag Tweet the Table, I still stand by what I said the other night. Excuse me. I'm not feeling Ciampa as a tag wrestler. Hashtag WWE NXT.
Yeah. No, he is a guy that needs to stand on his own. He is the man in black. You know, yeah, get him away from all these people. Not to say he's like Dexter Lumis where, you know, he needs to be weird, but yeah, Ciampa is a curmudgeon, old, grizzled asshole. I mean, again, the teaming with Thatcher is about the best teaming they could do, you know, but get it away. Yeah,
get it away. I'm done with it. All right. Yeah. At Devil Vamp says, this is not the Miro we want. This is the Miro we deserve. We have earned this punishment. All of us. Hashtag Tweet the Table. And yeah, we have earned this punishment.
Wait a minute. Are we saying we don't like it? Because I love
I think he's saying like, this is the Miro we deserve.
Oh, gotcha.
And Miro's punishment. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like, yeah.
Then totally. Yeah. Because Miro right now is the best he's been since he came out on a tank.
Yeah. My fucking tank. Yeah, I like this Miro. Kicking ass, not even bothering to take names.
If you're AEW, and let's just say the next outdoor pay-per-view is Double or Nothing next year, right? They go back to Jacksonville and they do Double or Nothing. Do you think they get a tank? I would do a tank again. I would have him come out on another fucking tank.
You catch, you said he had sex with Lana in that tank before the fucking,
Get a fucking tank. We all love the tank.
Or at least a mini tank, right? Get a little mini tank, something, right?
Well, and we know Lana's going to be going to AEW, so that'd be the perfect way to introduce her.
All right.
Tank.
All right. Back. Oh, by the way, you'll notice a theme here. We only got 2 folks to tweet the table this week. And you know what? I'm going to read all the best of theirs. In the show, they're picking up the slack for the rest of you fucks. They know how to get this done. This is how you hashtag tweet the table. So, you know what I mean? We want them. Topic. Hashtag tweet the table from Big Josh the Rebel Drucker says, Dripstick engaged? What the fuck? Lol. Hashtag WWE Raw. I love the Dripstick. I love Johnny Drip Drip.
Yeah, this is the most interesting he's been in WWE.
Yes.
Ever.
Yeah. Ever. They should run with it. I mean, like, what? Why not? Like, what else are you going to do with John Morrison that's as cool as this?
Oh, and especially because of how old he is, if he starts doing outdated things around younger wrestlers, like if he asks, oh my God, if you do Johnny Drip Drip, right? And he walks around and then he's like, hey, who's a young wrestler on the roster? I don't know. Let's
Cedric Alexander.
Cedric Alexander, right? He goes, hey, Cedric Alexander, why don't you put me in your top 5 on your MySpace page? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then Johnny Drip Drip's like, yeah. And, you know, like, he's just making outdated references. He's like, hey, you going to join that AOL chat? Huh?
Yeah, hey, I poked you on Facebook earlier.
Yeah. I poked you on Facebook. Yeah. Well, I challenged you to a match. You know I poked you on Facebook,
Did you get my Farmville invite?
Yes. That's what Johnny Drip Drip needs to be. Just an unaware, outdated old guy going through a midlife crisis.
Is that us? At Devil Vamp says, did he just throw a kid out of the ring like a sack of potatoes? Hashtag tweet the table. And yeah, I'm assuming here he's talking about little Mysterio Jr. getting the fucking see ya.
Yeah.
And fucking he ain't little either. Yeah, no, he's probably taller than Reigns and he fucking just see ya.
See, in AEW, that's how you film someone going from a high platform to a lower platform. That's the way you do it, guys, because I guarantee you he landed on a crash pad. That motherfucker is not landing on the ground that way. Also, I don't know if you saw this, but a meme went around to where they put Roman throwing, what's his name? Ray's son? Dominic.
Dominic.
He's throwing Dominic, and they made it to the Fresh Prince.
Hey. That's Eddie's son.
Okay, whoever's son, I don't care. But they did it to the. Remember how in the Fresh Prince, Uncle Phil would throw out? Yeah, they did it to that. I thought that was pretty great.
Shout out to the last one here. Big Josh jumped in. He says on the chat, he says, "Love Johnny Drip Drip, but how about the drip on Seth Rollins every week?" I do like that Seth Rollins is going full in on the ridiculous suits.
If you see, this is when Survivor Series could be really fun. Is if you keep going with Johnny Drip Drip and then Seth Rollins looking like...
Is this the king of drip?
Whatever he is.
Yep.
And then at Survivor Series, when it's Raw versus SmackDown, you keep these two guys away from each other and you do a backstage segment where they think the other one looks ridiculous. That's funny. That is where it looks like two different brands colliding into each other.
Yeah.
That would be good.
At Big Josh, the Rebel Trucker says, hashtag tweet the table. Am I the only one that misses the phenom that was fandangoing hashtag WWE NXT? Yeah, I mean, that was fun, but I don't think you're going to rebuild it now. I want the Fashion Police back.
That's what I'm saying. But you can still do that.
Right. The Fashion Police were the best. God, ticket.
Well, and here's the thing. You know, they've done amazing work in NXT, especially because they were one of the first ones to say, like, main roster sucks. Let's go back to NXT and have some fun down there. But if you've been paying attention, there's no fucking tag teams on Raw at all. None. I don't even know who the Raw tag team champions are right now. Who is it? Who's the Raw tag team champions? Oh, it's almost AJ.
Yeah, God damn it is almost an AJ. That's a problem in and of itself. But all right.
Right. But then you have the Fashion Police making fun of Amos, and then you get a fun story out of that. I think they should be bouncing around everywhere.
Yep.
That's Cap. That was funny 2 weeks ago. AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Cap, that means lie. Cap.
Yeah. AJ and Johnny Drip Drip getting into a battle of like being out of touch with the young kids today.
If you have this old ass roster, that's what you should do. And then you know who could end that argument if you had AJ and Johnny Drip Drip talking about MySpace or Zanga or AOL chats. You have Jeff Hardy come out and be like, "We don't do that," and then and they all fucking dance, and then you get all old guys, you know.
Be like, "I've been waiting for you to finish your play on words with friends, and you're not even fucking."
Oh yeah, and then you end it with Ron Simmons yelling "damn," and that's your segment.
And Big Josh on the chat is right. We're still waiting on their goddamn tag team registration forms.
And who needs to call them out on that? Police. It can be Fashion Police, but it can be some type of police.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
All right. At Devil Vamp says, have to say Todd back is great. Love it. Nostalgia for the win. Hashtag NXT TakeOver. Hashtag tweet the table. And we kind of touched on this earlier. Like the nostalgia was fun this time. I don't want it to be the crutch they lean on.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and I think that you said that better than what I was trying to. Is it was fine, but yeah, don't lean on this every time because then I'm going to get tired of it. All
right, and final one, and this is one we have not discussed, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. Tom, it's from at Big Josh the Rebel Truck. Well, at the Rebel Trucker, right? Excuse me. It's Big Josh at the Rebel Trucker. He says, hashtag tweet the table. I wonder who these charging battery promos are representing. Hashtag WWE NXT. I think it's like a losing battery, let alone it's not charging, right? It's losing charge. Am I right? Or is it charging?
I thought it was losing charge.
Yeah, I think it's losing charge. And here's my wild ass guess.
Okay.
I think it's Bray Wyatt in a new character coming back to NXT. I think he doesn't want to be on the main roster anymore for whatever reason. I think they probably wouldn't let him at this point. He's a marketing gold mine for them up there. Yeah. No, so then who is it?
Oh, Everrise. Some fucking tag team we don't give a shit about.
No.
Yeah. That's who it is. Yeah, come on.
Ew.
Here, you want me to go crazy? I think it's going to be a returning Finn Balor.
Oh, God. Fucking
No,
Alexander
it's
Wolf.
Yeah, there you go. It's
Rick Boog, God damn it.
yeah, there you go.
Oh, he said it started on 0 and moved up, did Big Josh. So maybe it is charging. Maybe that's when we get to 100%, we'll see the person.
Well, you know who it is? Because their contract's ending in AEW. It's Chris Jericho coming to NXT. There you go. Is that better than Everrise?
That's a lot is better than Everrise is not bad. I don't hate when they're on there, but they're never going to be like a huge thing that I see. But I mean, they've got some fun too.
Well, but see, for me, they're diet fashion police.
Yeah.
Like Fashion Police does everything they do better. So
yeah, that's exactly right.
Anyway.
Well, hey man, I want everybody to join in on the fun that Devil Vamp and Big Josh had here, and join us. Use hashtag Tweet the Table. You can follow us on Twitter, the Facebooks, the TikToks, the YouTubes, all of that. The links can be found at SpanishAnnounceTable.net, the audio podcasts, the Spotifys, all that shit. There's also donate buttons. There's merch links. We got it all for you here. Tom, any parting words before we're out of here, I guess?
Yeah. Fucking stop body shaming. And when it's the fucking organization doing it, call them out. You fucking idiot wrestlers.
The Spanish Announce Table.